So we are in this healthy, neutral market. May is definitely an improvement over April. Listen to what the market is telling you. If you're not getting showings, if you are not getting offers, adjust your price. Welcome to this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market, where I take a look at the luxury market, the Manhattan market, and the Brooklyn market. I do it because I want you to be informed. It never hurts when you're a consumer to be informed. Welcome to this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market. This is for the week of May 8th to the 15th. We're going to be covering the luxury market, the Manhattan market, and the Brooklyn market. Then I'm going to recap everything that we've talked about and give you my thoughts about best strategies for buyers and sellers for the current market conditions. Okay, we're going to get started now with the luxury market. If you have any questions at all, please post those below. There were 40 contracts signed last week for properties that were priced at $4 million and above. That is 10 more than the previous week, and it was the largest number of contracts signed in a week for the year. And actually, it was the largest number since the first week of May of 2022, when 43 contracts were signed. The number one contract for last week was 15 Central Park West, number 36D. It was asking $26.5 million. It was reduced from $28 million when it was listed back in October. The condo has almost 3,200 square feet. It includes 3 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms. It has a 22 by 24 foot great room and a library that face Central Park. The owner purchased the apartment from the sponsor back in 2008 for a little over $11 million. 15 Central Park West was designed by architect Robert A.M. Stern. The amenities include a 14,000 square foot fitness center with a 75-foot pool, a private restaurant for residents only, a landscape motor court and garage, library, business center, game room, outdoor terrace, and children's playroom. The number 2 contract was Penthouse A at 150 Barrow Street. It was asking $17.5 million. It is a condo. It is a duplex. It has 4,287 square feet. It includes 4 bedrooms and 4.5 bathrooms. Upstairs, it has a 30-foot great room and a kitchen, surrounded by a 1,992 square foot terrace. Downstairs are the bedrooms and a living room with a kitchenette. It is a new building. It's a bit of a boutique building. It's called the Keller. It was a former hotel, turned into a condo, has 24 units on 7 floors. It started marketing in March. 4 contracts were reported last week at $4 million and above in this building, with asking prices averaging a little over $3,600 a square foot. Their sales team reported that over 50% of the building has sold, and this really points out the high demand for luxury properties in the West Village. Amenities include a doorman, fitness center, children's playroom, storage, a residence lounge, and a landscape courtyard with a kitchenette and a barbecue. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the stats for the luxury market for last week. The total weekly asking price sales volume, 300,444,000. The average asking price, $7,511,100. Median asking price, $5,925,000. Average discount from original ask to last asking price, 7%. And the average days on market, 628. Okay, that's it for the luxury market. As I said, if you have any questions, please post those below. If you find this kind of content interesting and helpful to you, please be sure to subscribe to my channel so you get this information every week. Okay, we're going to move on now and take a look at what happened in Manhattan. So the supply was down a little bit last week. 382 properties came in the market last week. That's down a little over 16%. Contract signed is nice to see that that went up a bit, little under 5%, 255. Off market down almost 40%, 110 properties off market for last week. We see the supply for the month, 1,930, up 2.2%. We're kind of closing in on the end of the spring season. This really may be it for the supply. Don't expect to see a whole lot more supply coming on the market. If you're really serious about buying something in the spring market, don't expect to see a lot more inventory coming on the market. Contracts signed down 3.5%, 1,009, off market up 40%, 560. If we take a look at this market pulse again, now we're in this neutral market. We've been in this kind of healthy neutral market. We see that the very tail end of this is going up a bit. We're definitely are seeing that May has an improvement over what we saw in April. So we're definitely getting a little bit of a bump, but we know historically that end of May will very likely signal the end of our active spring season. So June is just around the corner. This is likely the kind of the last pop of the spring market. We will see what the next few weeks bring, but Memorial Day is just around the corner. So unlikely that this upward trend is going to continue. Of course, we're going to continue, though, to keep an eye on it. Okay, if we take a look at this liquidity pace chart, nice to see the contract activity over 1,000. As I said, April was a bit of a lackluster month for the spring market. May is definitely an improvement. If we take a look at the net inventory, we'll see that the inventory has risen in Manhattan. Again, though, we are in this kind of nice balanced market for Manhattan. The demand, the supply are pretty much on par with each other. Taking a look at the supply chart, the inventory overall is ticking up, but it is slowing a bit. And as I mentioned, we maybe have reached the peak of this inventory coming on the market. The demand also is keeping pace with the supply. So again, nice, balanced, neutral market. The new listings have dropped off a bit. We've kind of reached our peak of this seasonal wave of new inventory. And the contract activity did improve slightly, as we saw from that, the market pulse. But again, we've reached our peak. We're very likely going to start tapering off. However, that being said, we're going to continue to keep an eye on these next few weeks as we move towards the end of May and see what the market shapes up to be in these last few weeks of the month. So that's it for the Manhattan market. Now we're going to take a look at what's going on in Brooklyn. Okay, now we're going to start with that 1 week look for Brooklyn. 198 properties came on the market last week. That is down 18.5%. Contracts signed down also. 160 contracts signed down almost 9%. And 59 properties came on the market. That is down almost 36%. The supply was down for the month, almost 5%. 925 properties. Contracts signed just a little under 1%, down 671, and the off market also down 234, down 1.7%. If we look at this market pulse for Brooklyn, we see that we're in a neutral market for sure. Again, as with Manhattan, we are in this, what could be termed as a neutral, kind of balanced market. although a little bit different than Manhattan. It is kind of lackluster, as it had been. Last week it felt like it was perking up a bit, but if we look at the data overall, it does feel like it is a bit lackluster. Taking a look at this liquidity pace chart, we see this moving 30-day window, 712. Again, we're in this neutral phase. This is, it's moved up a bit, which I think, again, just represents that we are in this healthy, neutral market. This is a good sign, definitely, reassuring to sellers. And I think is kind of just an overall good sign for the market. Buyers, it means that, you're going to have some leverage, especially with those properties that have been sitting for a while, but you won't have a huge amount of leverage. The question really is going to be, how long is this going to last? Is this going to last for the next few weeks till we get to the end of the active spring market? Is this going to continue right on through the summer? I mean, we just really have no way to know, but for right now, this is what we have, and we will take it. If we look at the net inventory trends, again, different than Manhattan, we just don't have as much inventory in Brooklyn as we have in Manhattan. But we knew that. We have been kind of watching this because, as I've been saying, Brooklyn just had so much frothiness over the last couple of years. We're just not seeing that in this particular market cycle. So now we're just waiting to see, how this spring market is really going to shape up at the end of it, at the end of the day. If we look at this supply chart, we're going to see that the supply is creeping a little bit higher, but historically, really this is the time of year that we see that it's at its peak. So again, buyers, if you are determined to buy right now, don't expect to see a whole lot more inventory coming on the market. The demand went a little bit higher, but it's also reaching this period, historically speaking, in the market where we expect that it starts to top out a bit. The new listings in Brooklyn tick down and suggest that this supply is also just kind of topping out and may be ending soon. If we look at the contract activity, it rose a little bit, but it definitely remains lower than previous years. So let me just sum all of this up. You've heard me say that there were 40 contracts signed at 4 million and above last week. This is the largest weekly total of the year, and that is great. You heard me say that the supply and the demand are currently in balance in both Manhattan and Brooklyn, so we are in this healthy, neutral market. May is definitely an improvement over April. Also, historically, the end of May typically signals the end of the active spring market. So here is my advice to sellers. This is as good as it gets. Get your deal done before the active spring market winds down at the end of this month. You do not want to be sitting around this summer when a lot of the buyers will have left the market. Listen to what the market is telling you. If you're not getting showings, if you are not getting offers, adjust your price. Buyers, again, this is probably peak inventory. So don't sit around thinking that there's going to be a whole lot more inventory coming on the market. You saw that there's a fair amount of inventory that has come on the market, but it's kind of slowing down now. And you're seeing that there are some things that are being taken off the market as well. So pay attention to what's on the market. See if there's anything there for you. If you're looking for leverage in terms of negotiability, take a look at those properties that have longer than average days on market. Look at those properties that are on the market for 60 days, 90 days, or more. Definitely, I would look at those things that are on the market for a few months and see if perhaps there is some room there with the seller. That is it for this week's look at the state of the New York City real estate market. As always, I want to thank Urban Digs and the Olsham Report for their amazing reporting. The work they do helps me to help you to make great decisions. I'll be back next week with the very latest news about what's happening in the New York City real estate market. In the meantime, take care.